So this is going to be a retro review for the Gran Caribe in Cancun, Mexico. And unfortunately, obviously, I'm not there now. But while we were there many years ago, I took tons and tons of footage. This is well before YouTube became a place where you would go check up on resorts and do Q&As like I do for my other videos now. But I'm sitting on all this footage, and people ask me all the time, I'm going here, I'm going there, what do you suggest? I'm not a travel agent, this isn't what I do for a living, but we do travel as much as we can, and we document everything we do now, and we like to share it with everyone. So with that said, I figured I'd put together a ton of little bits of footage and walk you through what our experience was at the Gran Caribe, and yeah, we'll take it from there, and if you have any questions, let me know. So this is just a simple screen grab from Google Maps that anyone can get, and you just plug in the Panama Jack resort in Cancun, and I'll show you this. The first thing you'll notice, see, back when we went, it was the Gran Caribe, and they've renamed it, and you'll understand why in a bit. The resort itself is somewhat small. If you're someone like me that likes a big campus, this is probably not the right fit for you. However, there's a huge strong point with this resort. If you have kids, young kids, which we did at the time that we had gone there, this resort is probably one of the best ones that I could possibly suggest. It is more kid-oriented than adult-oriented. But if the kids are happy and they're content, then most likely the parents will be happy also. So I'll get right to the point as to why they renamed the resort from the Gran Caribe to the Panama Jack now. Obviously, when you walk into the resort, the first thing you're going to notice is a giant pirate ship. And everything was pirate-themed events at nighttime for the most part, which was really cool because they do all sorts of water things with the kids, and the kids can go on the pirate ship, and there's water guns and whatnot. Then they put on these really extravagant shows for the children at nighttime, and they were interactive. Like the kids could actually go, from the crowd onto the boat, and they get involved in the fake sword fights and stuff, and it was all controlled and it was cool. It was also, I could tell you, it's bilingual. It might have been even trilingual. Granted, most of it was in Spanish, obviously, but then they reiterate everything back into English, and I think they also did French, if I'm not mistaken. But it was really exciting to see this stuff up close and personal, and the people who did the performances were absolutely outrageous. I guess I'll dip back and forth between things that are good for the kids and then things that are good for the adults, right? So in terms of entertainment for the adults, the beach was absolutely beautiful. If you like, at the time we were there, which was around July or August, the waves were insane, if that's your kind of thing. The water was absolutely crystal clear. It's what you expect from a tropical resort, for that matter. You walk into the water, it feels like the water is 85 degrees. It's nice and warm. The sun's beating down on you. But you walk into the water, and it was crazy. There were people surfing, actually, that were further down off to a different resort. I guess I had that as an excursion. But my son and I were going in there. I'm 6'4". There were waves that went well over my head, and they just kind of knock you right off your feet. But the water's aqua blue and just absolutely crystal clear. There was no trash in it, no dirt. I mean, everything was just beautiful. You get up to your neck, and when the water would kind of calm down a bit, you look down, you saw your feet. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for in terms of that. So at the time we book, we typically try our best to book their top-tier packages, whatever a resort has to open. And the Gran Caribe at the time offers something called Black Bracelet. Okay, so you wore this black bracelet, and that signified that you had this top-tier package. What that allowed you to do was leverage their black bracelet room, or black diamond room for that matter. And that room, which was on the top of the resort itself, had its own private chef, or he wasn't cooking anything, the food was already self-served. But top-tier liquor, you had a really nice view of the resort itself, and then going out into the strip in Cancun and beyond. But it was a private room. If you took the elevator up, there was always a guard there checking the bracelets. So it kind of gave you your own little private getaway thing. So if you didn't necessarily want to be with the general population in the resort, you got to hang out in this room. They had a TV, they had remote controls, and they had the pool table. The pool table was pretty cool. It seemed to be big for the kids. There was like a little ping pong table kind of thing over there. And they had some PCs over there with internet access. I presume now it's not that big of a deal with everyone having cell phones, but at the time that was like a big deal for the kids. But, teaching your kids how to play pool and whatnot and just kind of hanging out and chilling out upstairs is really cool and air conditioned. Top tip, don't do what I just do. Don't shoot a cue ball right into your camera because, well, that's never good. Ouch. So back on the theme of entertaining the children and more the family aspect of the resort, there's two big water slides which everyone has access to regardless of what package you buy into, and as you can see, it's for kids and adults for that matter. So everyone gets to enjoy it. The lines are always very controlled. They look long, they go very, very fast, and most importantly, there's lifeguards that are right there on standby to make sure that everyone's safe and no one's getting hurt, and the kids aren't drowning, God forbid. And then after hours, you've got these little kid workshops that they had set up over there, and the kids would either play things like the chair game that we're looking at right here. They do things with magic tricks or doing things with balloon sculptures and whatnot. Monkey in the middle, all sorts of stuff. And again, it was all bilingual or sometimes even trilingual, so everyone was included. No one was left out. And the staff was really, really nice. You could tell they were very well versed with kids. And then not only was there one big pool towards the end of the resort, but there's also little kiddie pools as well. And as you can see, our kids were quite young at the time, so it was not a problem for them to go into like a little 1.5 or a 2 foot pool. Everything's in meters over there, but just simple math. You know that they're not going to get hurt in there, and it was easy for the parents to keep an eye on them. As you can see in the back, there was plenty of seating, so even if you wanted to step out of the pool and watch the kids from a slight distance, give them their freedom, you have a little bit of your own freedom. There was plenty of provisions put in place for you to do so, and that's a plus. A lot of places don't think these things think these things through. In terms of safety, a lot of people ask about safety and how we felt going around at the time in Cancun. I can't speak for now, in 2019 for that matter, but at the time, obviously, we felt very safe. I mean, clearly, we're out and about. It's my family and I, and we literally just walked right outside the resort, and we walked up and down the strip. We checked out the various different restaurants, and obviously took pictures and whatnot. Everyone was really, really friendly. There's a little mall that was up the road, so we went to the mall, took photos, bought some souvenirs and whatnot. People would stop and ask, "Oh, are you from here? Or where do you live?" We tell them from New York and whatnot. We do our best to speak the little Spanish that we know, and they would do their best to speak. They knew a lot more English than I knew Spanish, so I'll give them credit there. But as you can see, we're inside the stores and whatnot, and even at nighttime, there were times 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, you just weren't ready to go to bed. We felt fine walking outside and going up and down, and we never really strayed too far for that matter, but the people there were just so nice and so courteous. So at the time, it was really cool. So in terms of being outside again, it was always nice here back on the resort again. Either right before or just after dinner, to sit outside and just kind of relish in the views here. We're on the top deck where this oversees the front end of the resort, and here's the main strip of Cancun. On Cancun, it was nice to just kind of chill out, and you had a little spot there, and it had all sorts of seats and whatnot, and all the various cars and buses that were going by, and you'd see people. This is during a time where I guess people were getting ready to go out at night, so it was pretty dead. I mean, you could have walked around outside, and there really wasn't much happening. But that's kind of nice if you're looking just to wind down a little bit. People are strolling into the various restaurants that were in town over there, which we never really checked out. We heard they were amazing, but the food at this resort was really, really good too. And I have a lot of feedback on that as well. But as you would kind of chill out again. Around the resort, there were it's almost like strategic how they did it. Little things to keep the kids occupied, almost knowing that the parents might need a breather. And if you've got little kids that are 3 and 4 years old, which my kids were here at that time, you need a breather. So it was nice to go to a resort like this where someone kind of thought that thing through. So your wife and you or your husband and you can have a cocktail while the kids are preoccupied. And I mean, look at that. Just looking over the water and watching the little boats that were going by and whatnot. And you can see the other side of Cancun from where we were. It's a clear shot. And there'd be various people walking by. You're on the balcony enjoying a cocktail, and various people just walking by and saying hi to you or just exchanging, compliments or just comments back and forth. That was some of the fondest memories that I had of the time that was there. And again, I'm remembering vividly what it was like to have little kids at the time. And that's sort of the theme of my video here, is how great this was for little kids, family with, little kids. That meant a lot to us. That meant a lot. It was also like a vacation for us as well. And not to sound selfish, but you want to entertain everyone. And a lot of times when you have little kids, the focus is always on little kids. However, mom and dad need a break also. And this place was a place that offered that. And I'll never forget that. So, huge shout out to the guys who put this place together. In terms of food and booze, I remember vividly the food was very, very good. Booze, wasn't the best. However, it's also a family-oriented resort, for that matter. So, if you're a huge drinker or you're looking for a resort where you're going to get wrecked, this place probably wouldn't have appealed to you in the first place. So, it's definitely not a criticism, for that matter. It's just I'm noting it. Plenty of outdoor bars that were over here, and most importantly, as mom and dad can get their booze fueled drinks, for that matter, they cater to the kids as well. So they had tons and tons of virgin drinks for the kids, and all sorts of funny names and whatnot. I think one of them was called the Sexy Banana, and the kids always got a kick out of it. And really, it was just a regular drink minus booze, obviously, and it was like having ice cream, for that matter. But the kids kind of felt like hot shots, and everyone was happy. So they were, again, something else that was really well thought out, and that was pretty cool. So with regards of figuring out how to finalize this video, rather than try to reiterate any more from memory, which my memory is pretty clear of the resort, and it's all pretty fond, I figured I would actually include this last piece of video that I shot on my last day there. I don't know who I was going to address this with, but I'm glad I did it, and it was shot at the time, on the day, me on the very beach in the back of the resort. So I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, or if you have any concerns or comments or updates, for that matter, maybe you've been to this resort sooner than more recently than I have, and something has changed, throw it out there so other people know, and then we can make additions. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and again, if you have any questions, let me know. Last day in Cancun. It's been a wonderful 6 days. I'm gonna miss it, but I guess it's time to get back to reality. Can't do this every day. Boy, that view is just amazing. Crystal clear ocean. Really friendly people. Everyone we met was so nice, for the most part. Except for Lily, that one waitress. She was a bitch. Tilly, Lily, something like that. But I guess I'd be in a bad mood if my name was Tilly. But Lily. Kids had a blast. I guess that's most important. Beautiful white sand. Look at that. Little shells all over the place. Really nice. We've been taking these home. Make bracelets or necklaces or something with the kids. That's pretty cool. These starfish. Really nice starfish. And that's it. Tomorrow the flight takes off at 1:15, something like 1:30. We have to be out of the resort by 11:15. That's when our shuttle picks us up. Just going upstairs. And that's it. I guess we'll go get dinner tonight. One last family dinner in Cancun. I'll wake up, have a nice breakfast. And that's it. The kids are playing in the playground. They made some new friends. Vin's upstairs playing with a new friend his age that he made a little while ago. Naturally, they request each other as Facebook friends. That's a big deal these days. Hey, speaking of the kids. What's up, kiddos? What's going on? Wow. Say bye-bye, girls. Say bye, Cancun. We miss you.